Marquette Devon Burton, the saint and the sinner, giving you lessons from a pimp. Folks, today we are talking about 10 rules for dating, for men in particular. Now, I wanted to do this because you are dating in one of the most challenging times ever. So I'm going to give you 10 rules to help you navigate the jungle that is modern dating. Rule number one, and I wrote these down because I didn't want to miss any of them. Rule number one, do not accept every woman. This is what I mean. I encourage you to spit a tremendous amount of game. You should speak to no less than 3 women a day. I know it sounds like a lot, but you should make every effort. Why? Because that allows you to skim from the top. You get to talk to the cream of the crop. In doing so, in talking to so many women, you will encounter a great many females who are unworthy of you. So when I say do not accept every woman, when you start spitting game at a young lady, you're not spitting game at her solely for the purpose of getting her contact information. A major part of it is a discovery process to figure out if she's even interesting to you. So you should never, ever, ever accept a woman's contact information or ask for a woman's contact information merely based on her appearance and based on her liking you because you might not like her. Remember, she's also in a job interview. Number 2, you have to categorize every single woman that you encounter. And these should be largely unchangeable categories. What I mean by this is once you spit game at a woman, you've gotten her contact information, you're building rapport and you're learning more about her. Hopefully, if you looked at the questions that I shared on Patreon, you're asking her deep questions that are really revealing who she truly is. Based on who she actually is, you should put her into one of 3 categories. Category 1, which is the smallest category. This is long term. You might possibly be able to stay with this woman for the rest of your life. You might have kids with this woman. This is a small, minuscule category. Category 2. This woman, for some reason, there's something majorly wrong with her. You only intend to sleep with her. You don't even really like talking to her, but she's so fine, you can't help it but try to sleep with her every now and then. This is a medium-sized category. Your largest category is this one right here. This is a category of women who are both attractive and have agreeable personalities, meaning they have something to contribute in the way of intelligence, in the way of personality. They're reasonably attractive, but obviously they're missing some core things that prevent them from being in the first category of very long-term, potentially someone you could be with for life. Here's a really important thing. Never engage in an argument. What I mean by that is if you're having a disagreement and you can't clarify your position within 5 minutes, meaning like you're taking 5 minutes worth of verbalization to explain to her what the problem is, if she doesn't get it after 5 minutes, give up. This is why. No amount of talking is going to change who someone is. If a person, in this case a woman, for some reason is not understanding or not vibing with you after 5 minutes of you babbling, that's because you have different values. You're at your core, you're different, which means that you're gonna have to agree to disagree. What you don't want to do is waste your words. The more you speak, the less valuable your words are. So never explain yourself at length. Ideally, you're very brief. If you explain something and she doesn't get it, the bus left and she missed it. Here's a really important one. I call it keep the door open. What I mean by that is no matter how long you've been with a woman, no matter how deep your relationship is, no matter what, the door is always open and she can leave out of it. The reason you have to do that is because human beings tend to become dulled to the things that are close to them, right? Meaning that to you, Martin Luther King was a phenomenal person. But to Coretta Scott King, his wife, she had to see him at home every single day. She had to go in the bathroom when he forgot to flush the toilet. He becomes a normal guy to her. Because of that, she might start misbehaving, especially if she thinks she's the only woman. That's why you need an open door policy, which means that she can go out of the door and a new woman can come in the door. Critically important thing. That leads me into my next rule, which is to never use commitment language. If you ever convey to a woman that you feel committed, that is going to make her brain go crazy. Why? Women are attention animals. When you are committed to her, she feels as though she stamped a flag on you, mission accomplished. Now she needs to put on those jean shorts with her ass hanging out so that she can get the attention of a new guy, because they need something to keep them busy. They need something to engage them emotionally. So the moment you fully committed, you become uninteresting. What you have to do is make sure that they are continuing with their efforts to regain your love, regain your attention. When you use commitment language, you too often say things like girlfriend, or you agree to get into a relationship, or you say, yeah, blah, 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 marriage. When you are giving those kind of indications, the woman is going to value you less. We always value that which we're striving for. You're the pie in the sky. You should be a goal that she's constantly pursuing, never quite attaining. Do not give her more than she is worth, meaning that if a woman has not demonstrated value to you, you should not give her more than she is giving you. What I mean by that, if you've just met a woman, there's no sense in taking her out for a steak dinner because you're investing capital into her when she to date has invested nothing into you. So why would you do that? It's too much of a show of interest. It's too much of an investment into her when you have yet to discover if she's a liability or an asset. You need to wait until she has proven herself to be an asset before you start putting money into her, before you put energy, attention, and emotion into that woman. Now, my brain has been working in the background. I remembered the thing that I wanted to mention in the first rule. It is the following. The reason that you guys are accepting every woman is because of their exterior, their physical appearance. As a mature, experienced man, I can tell you that I understand why you do that, and that is a grave mistake. Here is a trick that you can use to make sure you are not overvaluing a woman. Ask yourself this question. If the female had no vagina, what would she be worth to you? There are some women that are so brainless, so devoid of personality, so poorly raised, so in lack of good values, so selfish that they have no value beyond their beautiful curves and their vagina. So you must always ask yourself, first and foremost, if this woman had no vagina, if her body was not attractive, if her face was not attractive, would I be interested in her? And if the answer is no, you need to put her into that second category I mentioned, which is limited association. Ooh, I got some good ones for you. Do not let a female make you into a female. They're very good at doing this. What I mean is that the inclination of the woman is to lay on the couch and cuddle. No, do not do it. Maybe every once in a while you might watch a movie with her. Maybe you might allow the privilege of getting a cover and snuggling up. Maybe. It should be rare. If you're allowing her to turn you into a female and engage in these snuggling and basically being a couch potato practices, that is going to make you drift away from your true goals in life. Because the more time you spend doing that, there's a direct inverse relationship to her level of respect for you. Just imagine if all the times she wanted to lay down and cuddle when you're supposed to be working those extra hours. She wants the Netflix and chill when you're supposed to be pursuing your goals. Just imagine the true reality. She wants you to do all this relaxing, but then when she wants to go out for a nice dinner, are you going to have the extra money to pay for it? She wants you to do all this cuddling and hugging and chilling. Is she going to respect you as a hard worker? You must put limits and parameters on these kinds of behaviors. If you leave it up to a woman, you will spend way too much time sitting on your ass, cupcaking with her, doing pillow talk, laying in the bed after sex, having intimate conversations, when really you need to shut the fuck up and get some sleep, or you need to get your ass out of the bed and get back to hustling because the world is still spinning. Okay. Another one, and this should have been number one. Demand respect. That doesn't mean you need to be vulgar, rude, or impolite, but you need to demand that she accord you the respect that is appropriate for a man of your stature. So many of these women will not give you respect, and that is for two major reasons. Reason number one, so many of these half men, beta males, effeminate men, whatever you want to call them, they put the woman on a pedestal, and because of that, the women look down on them, and the women are confusing you for these losers. And that's why they don't address you with respect to start with. The second major reason is their father was not a man of respect. He did not appropriately lay down the law in the household. He did not raise them up in an honorable way as an honorable man, so that they were reared in a household around a respectable man, so they didn't get conditioned to know how to engage a respectable man. So you must demand your respect. And how do you do that? You do that by not letting anything slide. If there's a transgression, you must address it. I'm not saying you need to gorilla pimp on the girl. What you do need to do is make sure that it is addressed. Let me give you an example. There was some time ago, I was having a text message conversation with a female, and we had a discussion, and she brought up something that she did not like. She expressed herself. I accepted, or rather heard her out on what she had to say. And then she maybe went to go do something else and then texted a few hours later and said, oh, I had some more thoughts, but I had to go clean up the kitchen. I had to go hang out with my family and do this. And I had to help my friend go apartment shopping. But tomorrow I'm going to tell you my other thoughts. I had to shut that down. So I said, number one, love, if it wasn't a priority today, don't make it a priority tomorrow. You understand? Because number one, my focus and attention is a commodity. It's a limited resource. When you had my attention and my focus, you should have used it. Being that you did not use it, I am not going to stretch my attention to tomorrow on something we could have handled today. So that conversation is over. I wasn't rude. I just told her straight up, wasn't a priority today. Surely it's not a priority tomorrow. Further, what is indicated when she said, I'm sorry, I said, hey, love, you never need to tell me you're sorry, because those words mean nothing to me. However, I do invite you to take corrective action. I always respect corrective action, but never waste my ears and your mouth to say, I'm sorry. Why is that? Because you should have priorities. Ask yourself, if you're talking to a guy that you want to marry, or you're talking to as a woman, or you're talking to a guy that you want a long-term relationship with, if he's not your number one priority, you're fooling yourself, because you should prioritize him over your family. Why? You can talk to your family anytime. You've known your family your whole life. You should prioritize him over apartment shopping with your friend. Why? She should have her family help with that, or have her boyfriend help with that. This is not your priority. So you always have to demand that the woman make you her priority, or she use that open door that I told you about in the earlier rules. You just have to stand on your principles and let her know, I'm dealing with a woman who makes me the priority. If you're not that woman, you can exit stage left. That's how you demand your respect. You set the standard and you don't ever let her deviate from the standard. And if there's any deviation, you bring her back to it by addressing the transgression, but make sure you do it respectfully. Why? Not because she's respectable, but because you're respectful. And it speaks well of you as a man to speak in respectful language, even if the meaning of what you said was absolutely savage. So even after you have to verbally lash them or chastise them with your tongue, there's nothing wrong with saying, hey, thank you for listening, or good night, I hope you have a great day, whatever the case is. But make sure that you're always hyper clear on where you stand. And this is a big one. Do not try to get back with your ex. This is my final dating rule. I saw another dating coach made a video called How to Get Your Ex's Attention, or How to Get Back with Your Ex. That's stupid. I can assure you, if it was meant to be with your ex, it would have been. Do not mourn the ashes of a burned bridge, and surely if the bridge is burned, don't hop into shark-infested water and try to swim across it. Someone is your ex for a reason. There is no need to try to rekindle the fire. Surely the things that were a problem in the past will be a problem again. A tiger does not change its stripes. So whether you were the problem or the female was the problem, it's still a problem. When you go back to your ex, you show that you couldn't get anyone new. That's what you really do. You come back on your knees. You should never do that. And hey, even if she comes to you, don't accept her, because what that's telling you is she couldn't get anybody better. Are you going to be in that same boat? You ought not be in that boat. You ought to be meeting 3 women per day. Oh, there's another rule. Daddy haters. If a woman has major problems with her father, do not, I repeat, do not engage in a real relationship with her. You must keep her at the margins, because the truth is, the women who are daddy haters have some serious psychological issues, especially if their dad's not a bad guy. If their dad's a bad guy, if he was abusive verbally, physically, sexually, then that's one thing. I can understand that. But if their father went to work every day, earned a living, made sure that her and her mother and the siblings lived in a nice home and provided all of the basic necessities, and she still seems to have a problem with her father, then that woman is going to have a problem with you. Because if someone took care of her her whole life and provided for her, and she still doesn't like the man, that's a deep-seated emotion that will only cause problems in your relationship. Because I assure you, there are women who didn't have a father who would love to have a father. So if a girl is so spoiled that she doesn't appreciate the father that God gave her, the father who provided for her, surely he did maybe a lackluster job at parenting, which has ruined the girl, or the girl has been brainwashed by feminism, or her mother complained to her about her father. But whatever it is, this will reflect negatively on your relationship, because she will have a negative view of men, and it will make it very difficult for you to establish proper leadership in your dealings with that woman. Good question. So let's first talk about being self-conscious. The truth is that no one is perfect. We all have things that are disadvantageous. Not to say that being a virgin is disadvantageous. For example, if you're a Muslim, there are a great many women who are also virgins and are specifically looking for men who are virgins. I mean, I just, maybe in the last 2 weeks, a Muslim sister who's a virgin had reached out to me looking for a brother who's a virgin. I kid you not. So you have to know that some things you think are a disadvantage may actually be to your benefit. So that's number one. Number two, you got to get started somewhere. And the truth is that 19 is not late. Generally speaking, American kids are losing their virginity in between, 16, 17, 18, 19 range. So the truth is that it doesn't matter. And get this, don't worry about the quality of your sex, because in reality, females do not care for the most part. I'm not talking about whores here. I'm talking about normal, healthy females. They care more about their connection with you, their emotional connection, their spiritual connection, the level of support they feel from you, the level of comfort they get from you. They do not care if you can lay down the pipe game like Marquette Devon Burton. You probably won't ever be able to do that. And it doesn't really matter because you should not be interested in fucking her body. You should be interested in fucking her mind. That's where you really want to stick your dick. And what I mean by that is the key is to romance her thoughts and become mentally connected. Because in 2020, women will part with their body. They'll pass their body all the way around. It's like a doorknob. Everyone gets a turn. It's like a joint. Everyone gets the hit. But her heart, she will only give to a select few. So you should not be self-conscious about being a virgin. And if you're holding on to your virginity for a reason, continue doing so. But when you do have intercourse, please be sure to use a condom properly. Because these hoes are scummy, man. Like, you do not want the first time you have sex to end up getting an STD or getting a girl pregnant. That would be unfortunate. So Marquette Devon Burton just saved your life. Make sure you put on the Jimmy hat. Is there anything else? Or are we ready to rock and roll?
We're ready.
Fantastic. And just one more note on the self-conscious piece, because another young man who says he has a physical disability, I think maybe he said he has a withered arm or one of his arms is shorter than the other one, and he doesn't feel good when he's at the gym exercising in public because he knows he can't do some of the exercises correctly. Fellas, you are going to be fucked up in some way. No one is perfect. One guy has a chipped tooth. One guy has a receding hairline. Another guy has a lazy eye. I mean, no one is perfect. A real pimp is a person who can maneuver. A real player is an operator. They're a smooth operator, which means they know how to function. You are water. You take whatever form is necessary to advance. What I mean by that is the following. There's a rapper named Slick Rick. When he was a child, he had an injury to his eye, so he had to wear an eye patch. Google Slick Rick if you don't know who he is. This motherfucker having to wear an eye patch turned it into a fashion statement. This motherfucker would have eye patches matching his outfit. He would have gold eye patches. He was the most player eye patch motherfucker you ever wanted to see. He could have went out like a sucker and looked like Captain Hook with a plain black eye patch, but instead he turned it into a strength. Instead, he showed his resolve and his steadfastness and his strength as a man. Because as a man, you will be confronted with many challenges. As a human being, you will have many challenges: ill health, poverty, death of loved ones. These are things that happen. You will not make it out of life alive. Me, myself, I've had terrible things happen to me. You can read about them in my book called The Black Box. But at the end of the day, when you look at me today, I'm still smiling, happy, and moving forward because life is filled with challenge. Great men are the ones who smile through the challenge because one, you expected it, and because two, you know that you can overcome it. So whether you got a lazy eye, an eye patch, a small dick, a withered arm, you're a virgin, you got pimples on your face, whatever the case is, strut. Fuck it. Walk forward with the confidence of a crazed lunatic and the assurance of a zombie, knowing that you can deliver the goods no matter what. What are you smiling at?
We're good.
Okay. Oh, you're funny, huh? If there's nothing else, then I'm going to go ahead and shut this thing down.
Yep.
Okay, fantastic. Folks, I know that I didn't give any warning before hopping on, but I truly appreciate you all being here with me. I just wanted to share these quick 10 rules for you. And as always, repeat after me, and especially if you're one of the folks who felt self-conscious about something, and let me let you in on a secret. Everyone has things that they're self-conscious about. Repeat after me. I am going to be who I am because I am truly remarkable, and I am going to strive every moment to show the greatest part of who I am. Thank you for being with me. Have a great night.